we stand in front of Dollar Tree, and basically,
such as this thing here.
All right, I'm excited to have a guest.
Metal right here, of course. Everyone is.
Cuba is like they're under a dictator.
RTD Live Talk, Detroit's #1 late night YouTube talk show. We are live for a Wednesday night edition of the People's Talk Show. Excited to be back. Looking forward to connecting, and just trying to undo what I did earlier with the little blunder with the mic. So hopefully things will go smoother. But in the meantime, hope everyone's doing well. Welcome back for a live stream. Any first-time viewers, let me know where you're watching from. Would definitely love to acknowledge your presence and give you a chance to let your voice be heard when the phone lines open up. And as you come in, if you don't mind, hit that thumbs up button, show your support for the channel. It's always appreciated. And let me do a little maintenance on my side, and then I'll try to ramble less, get more to the nuts and bolts, and then let you guys call in and let your voice be heard. So let me just go through my typical spiel here. As always, make sure you guys click that subscribe button and that bell notification if you want to be notified. And the goal is to make sure I try to have it so everybody can at least get informed as best as I can. And also for those that are a part of the social media sphere, definitely connect with RTD on some of these platforms here. And you'll always stay plugged in. So the social media tab is at the very bottom of this video description. So, all right, let me check in, make sure my audio is working fine. The video earlier was a little rough. Got into that good little rant, then looked at the screen and said no sound. That sucks. But anyway, I titled this stream, World Central Banks Got It Wrong, or Did They? And it's in relation to the change in direction over the last year following the obvious push to provide accommodations for the economy to re-stimulate or stimulate things. So every single nation shut down, and then every single nation, for the most part, made it so that borrowing rates were extremely low, therefore trying to stimulate the economies back into life. And as a result of that, overdid it. And now they're trying to play catch up with the same problem that they created at the same time the monetary system was set to reset, come to an end, or whatever we want to call it. And so the current actions done today by the Federal Reserve with that 3/4 point hike caught some by surprise. But then again, we know they're in a tightening season, and it's deliberate because they're not the only ones doing the same exact thing, all to their own demise, because the entire monetary system is predicated on there being continuous debt that's brought into existence at a much more affordable rate, especially for the governments that are running massive deficits. And so I got a couple graphs here, a couple figures here, just to show how everything is coordinated to the T. And they did not get it wrong because they know exactly what they're doing. And keep it moving from there. But anyway, let's keep it moving. Let me acknowledge a couple people in the chat. Then we'll jump right in. We got William checking in. It says Earth is flat. Okay, Ronald B checking in. We got Dwayne Clark checking in. Says Peyton Manning. Watch Peyton Manning play action. Jerome Powell is on one. Everyone is going to think the Fed is printing, but they are not. They are unwinding their balance sheet. And XRP, we got Captain Corona XRP. Don't bother me. Brick to the brick wall. What else we got here? Dwayne got a lot of thoughts out there. Dude Boy, DC's Precise, LBP, King D. All right. Let me see. Keep scrolling. Tom, JoJo, Priceless, Faith. Appreciate you guys, man, as always, for taking time to bless me with your presence. Faith says, I'm moving to Mexico. Baby money bags in the building. All right, so let me get into some of the headlines, man. And I was just trying to put together all the evidence to show how, this particular headline of this article that caught my attention. That's where this all came from, how nothing was by accident. Tim Gibbs says, according to Peter Schiff, what it say? According to Peter Schiff, they're never, ever going to raise rates. Well, based upon, and that's one at this current moment, what are rates? It was always intended to be the actual price or the price of money or price of currency. The rate at which the key rate at which everything flowed from in reference to how currency fluctuated when it came time to transacting in the economy as far as borrowing and things of that nature. And so at this current moment, it's already distorted. They've already weaponized that to where the overall trajectory is only downward. Like, it really, even going down, it puts the world in trouble if it was to go, actual nominal negative. But even if it goes up, it puts them in trouble. So it's like, it's too late already. But then again, that's a part of the plan. And it has a lot to do with the craziness in their original mandate and the idea that inflation, the way that it was sold as a part of the mandate of a 2% number, considers a healthy, vibrant economy where job employment is healthy and spending is healthy and all those buzzwords they try to sell people with just the numbers 2% inflation, and how they just blew past that. But it was already past 2 according to the real CPI figures that alternative people use. So they already were behind the curve. They were already lying. This whole monetary system is a sham. So I'm about to just share with you a little bit why that is. Okay, so let me just jump right into just some headlines. So let me open up my screen here. So, let me add this to the screen. All right, so this is the headline that caught my attention. This is why I was like, man, let me, just go ahead and just run with this one, just because I'm like, man, it's a lot of when I saw this visual aid here, it just more so to me highlights how what the action the Fed is doing or said they're doing, it matters because it's associated with the world reserve currency, the Federal Reserve note. Okay, sure. But from that, think about all the other countries, as it says here, more than 50 central banks around the world have raised interest rates by at least a half a point in one go this year. So think about all the other countless billions of people that are also under very tight or soon to be tight monetary policies as well, already factor in that if actual consumer good prices on items in various countries are already through the roof. And of course, the central bank of here, Federal Reserve, is the biggest one, the key bank of all. So everything is always going to hit here last. But just think about all the damage that's already been done that we don't even hear about in our day-to-day lives, other than just the stories we bring up. Anyway, World Central Banks got it wrong, and the economies pay the price. This is the headline here. In this map here, I was like, man, let me go ahead and just look at more countries and really hone in on how, the central bank, in accordance to what they are designed to do, is functioning just right. Like they're literally, they privatized national currencies, and they've basically continued to compound inflation over time to subsidize the government's expenditures, and it's all owed back with interest. So it's continually growing interest. And I'm like, man, like that is the greatest scheme of all time, and it's worked well up until this current model right here. So anyway, just some headlines here. It says, it talks about the central banks, the Fed today, yada, yada, yada. But I want to go beyond that because I want to talk about, this is just something here to piggyback on, and this is older, but I think it's relevant to show how monetary policy in and of itself has a lifeline, just because here is something from dollardays.org, which is not even operational anymore, but this is just something that was old to show how every single country under the same model can only follow the same course of actions. And so, Federal Reserve notes or Federal Reserve digits or whatever you want to call them, their central bank reserves don't really exist other than on their ledger, and then whatever is transferred into the system through the banking model of them creating fictitious digits and purchasing government debt, and that swap back and forth, and of course all the the commercial loans that are done amongst the people. But anyway, and so this video right here just shows you how once the pegging from gold took place with the dollar, with the numero uno currency, from there, every single country had to follow suit because their currencies were eventually unpegged from their gold or silver. And the whole fiat currency debt-based Ponzi scheme took off because, as you can see here, from 71 on down, along with that, the monetary base, And true inflation is the expansion of the monetary base. And so as gold was removed, the debt increased exponentially for every single currency. And this is old. This is back before the great financial crisis. But just to show you by illustration, these currencies here, here's the Great British Pound. Pound went down, expansion of the base went up. We got the Canadian dollar. Canadian dollar went down because the currency went up. So it's like that counter. Like the more currency you create, the more units that are out there chasing goods and services, therefore, causing the purchasing power to go down. So we got the Australian dollar, we got the Japanese yen, we got so forth. So my whole point was, right now we're at the point where all interest rates, all central banks around the world, for the most part, the more important ones, the bigger ones, are all tightening right now. At the same time, they just created, I think, what was the total amount? I think it was close to 20 to 30 trillion dollars was just created within the last year and a half as a way to revitalize the economy. And that overly indebted nations that were already having problems. And now they're trying to make up for that because the currency has reached out. And of course, you stop providing goods and services, you're going to have some supply issues there. And you're going to have more currency chasing very few goods, and it's going to equal problems. At the same time now, borrowing cost is going higher. So anyway, I was looking through here, looking at all. So as of right now, according to what happened today, the federal funds rate is 1.75, up from 1. And then we got look at it, all this, 2002, 222, all these central banks here have been tightening. And that's designed, or we're told it's to fight inflation, but they're not fighting it in the way that anybody would be fighting it to extinguish the problem. Like, do you want to put out a fire, you have to, go above and beyond and just engulf it and basically suffocate the fire and put it out if you really want to stop the fire or inflation, which means they would have to shoot well past the current number of inflation that they're giving us to really put this thing down. But they're not doing that. They're using a good analogy as to what they're trying to do is they're using a super soaker water gun on a house that's burning, and then they're doing press conferences saying that 50 basis points, 75 basis point, 1 basis point, but they're shooting a squirt gun at a house that's burning, and they got the world thinking they're fighting a fire. And so no doubt they're fighting a fire. They're fighting a fire with a water gun, and so common sense would say, like, they need a lot more than a quarter, than a half a point, than 3/4, what I'm saying, to put out especially with the Royal Reserve currency. But again, we know that that's not our primary objective. And so to keep moving right along, just to share with you some things that I was going through when I saw that headline, talking about how world central banks got it wrong. No, they got it just right because they have to do it this way. So anyway, as interest rates are going up all around the world, 50 nations thus far. What has that done? As a result of all this massive debt. So this is the debt to GDP ratio by country. And so here we have the most indebted nations on the planet. And this is probably some older figures, but we have all of these nations here, which are well beyond their ability to ever repay. So they're already in the negative. And so you factor in, they borrowed a lot to try to paper over a crisis that we're just coming from. And now they have to increase rates to pretend like they're fighting inflation in their own countries. At the same time, they're making their own costs to function that much more burdensome because the interest rates on the current debt that they took out is going to go up. So they're, like literally the fire is growing faster than the water gun is squirting water. So something's going to give. And so here's just all the countries here, the debt GDP is astronomical. And so where we got the USA here, let me see, USA is up like higher. So right now in the USA, 334 million citizens, we're already 108%, which means we're already beyond our ability to ever repay, on top of the continuous billions going to Ukraine, yada, yada, yada. So just highlighting here how the current level of debt way surpasses any type of income nations could bring in because there is no growth. And then you factor in, if the central banking model, the way it was sold to the public, decades ago, was to, as I mentioned before, have a steady rate of inflation at 2%. Like 2% was considered healthy. We blew past, every nation for the most part blew past 2% well before COVID even hit. And so now you're looking at numbers that are well beyond the current rates of inflation. These are just some simple numbers. We got Russia 17%, we got Brazil 11%, United Kingdom 9%, and of course US 8.6. Of course, okay, sure, but how far past 2 can you go before you just realize that that whole concept was flawed? Because it's compounding inflation over time erodes away purchasing power of the currencies, but they knew that. So here is just a little something else on the side. This right here is the inflation rate by every country, and Venezuela actually is coming down. And so tomorrow at noon, I'll have Jose on from Venezuela to talk about. He was saying, conditions in Venezuela is getting better, and I'm like, that's good. But anyway, we see the inflated rate of inflation is well beyond 2% for every single country on this planet right now. So they've already failed there. And then you factor in the debt market. The debt market makes the world go round, and here is just the current interest Fed funds rate with the current bond yields for 10-year for every single country. And you mean to tell me Japan, with the fiasco they're in, S&P, their rate is their debt is A+. And so they got A, B, A, B, A, B, A, B. At this current moment, when we have way more debt you ever repay, how in the world do these ratings agencies keep the debt pristine to where it's like, who in their right mind going to give a nation their currency that's yielding a negative return? Because the current bond for most of these countries here is 3.2, and in all these countries the actual inflation numbers they're giving us is 6, 7, 8, 9. So they're already negative. So you're getting a negative return in lending currency to your government. So the bond market is a zombie. The bond market is dead. And if it's dead, then that means the currency right behind it is also dead. So all this is played out quite well for the central banking model. And so they did not get it wrong, in my opinion, because that's how the system was designed from start. And as a result of that, this is why we're going to see more currencies that are all trending this way. And that's why it's been so important for them to get it right when they introduce their digital version of currencies, because the paper and the commercial bank issued currency is going belly up for all countries because the debt cycle is complete. You know what I'm saying? So that's just a little bit of a rant as to how the numbers never worked. It's mathematically impossible to begin trying to talk about recovering to what? What are you recovering to? And just on a last note here before I get to another article, I just shared a tweet a moment ago because it's been a while since we've had the Federal Reserve, I guess, meet in public. And so this is a little tweet I put out a moment ago, and it shows the current FOMC meeting this morning. And you got all these people sitting around this table right here. These people control or have a major say-so in the lives of what looks like at this current moment, the numbers for what's on this planet, 7.9 billion people on this planet. And so to think this small group of people in this room, that's, how many, let me see, I can count it up, but I'll be wasting my time. But this room here is it was the most anticipated response and result from these individuals right here as they sat around and voted on the future of the Federal Reserve note, in a sense. And to think about the Coinage Act of 1792 mentioned that if any person, counterfeited the US dollar, they would be considered guilty of treason. And of course, when it comes to that word treason, what follows immediate after, right after that. And so let me just real quick, that law there is still on the books, if I'm not mistaken. Nobody has been charged with treason, but these people, the way they are manipulating currency, our nation's currency, because it's not even money, it's currency, Let me see here. So let me just find that because I remember seeing it. Devices, gold code. Let me see this. So this is the Coinage Act of 1792. Lawful tender enacted, ASAID, further enacted. Let me see if I see. Let me control. Let me see if I can find treason real quick. Counterfeit. Nope. Okay. So anyway, I gotta find it. But my point is, it's there. All right, so let's keep it moving. So let me get to a couple more articles here. Then I'll start opening the phone lines. But just want to kind of just share with you what was on my mind when I saw that article there, and just looking at the numbers. The math don't make sense. It's mathematically impossible for them to be able to, rate, hike, cut anything that it would equate to things making sense in the end. But we already knew that. So let's keep it going. A couple more articles here, and then I'll turn over to you guys. Let you guys have at it. This is interesting. So amongst all the jawboning out of Russia and China, or towards Russia and China, it says China and Russia agree to boost their ties in energy and finance. So basically, this is Xi Jinping slapping the West in the face, saying, "Hey, we're not going to play along with your games. We're going to continue to do our partnerships the way we have been doing it." So, does it surprise anybody? Not at all. And of course, there's so much chaos on this side of the world that I don't think it's going to be brought up in the mainstream news because they're going to say, "Yeah, Russia's losing. They're struggling over there." Pretty soon, we're going to see pictures come out of Russia where they're going to be, Russian citizens starving. They're going to be showing them having riots over there. The Russia. So watch this. Pretty soon, the media are going to throw out a narrative of, the Russian people are starving. Their currency's gone bad. They're rioting in the streets. They're trying to oust Putin. We got to support. We got to support those. They're going to call them patriots or something like that. The Russian patriots, we got to support them. We're going to provide them with aid and money and, saying? And they're implanted, agents, U.S. agents or some crap like that. That's how crazy stuff is sometimes. But you guys know how it is. So I can read this, but I'm not going to bore you with this. Let's keep moving right along. I want to get to another article here. And then open the phone lines. There's also, for those that are tuned in, hit that thumbs up if you don't mind. Show your love for the channel. And I thought I would share this because I love to share what I consider to be, interesting stories. These are things that are happening or we're being told about them happening more often. But here is an interesting gold find. It says the quote, oldest gold of humankind found in Varna necropolis was buried 6,500 years ago. And so once again, I take these dates with a grain of salt because, we got the evolutionists, we got the creationists. According to the evolutionists, it's, how many ever billion years old. According to creationists, it's within that couple thousand year time frame of this Earth being in existence. Not a point worth arguing. But anyway, so here's an interesting little find here. So whatever this is, I'm assuming this is the makeup of this person here. But according to the image they put together, this is him, and it's the oldest gold find. So I thought that's interesting because if this is archaeologically that time frame, it says so far the total of 294 tombs with 3,000 gold artifacts. And so gold has been a part of kings and queens' coffers forever. It's considered treasure. Even to this day, gold and silver is looked at as a hedge, insurance, but ultimately it's man's treasure. And so it's been that way 6,000 years ago. That's going to be that way for the next how many ever years until something changes. And I don't see that happening no time soon. So that's to my digit lovers out there who want to, make digits the primary focal point. At least get your insurance on. Okay, next article here. And this will be the last one. But here's the possibility of another crypto company blow up. And this is as of today. And Celsius, I guess Alex Mashinsky tweeted today saying that they're making progress and be patient. He appreciates the support and yada, 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 whatever. So we'll see. But here is something. It says, is multi-billion-dollar hedge fund 3 Arrows next to unravel? Here's what's going on. So ultimately, there's another company, 3 Arrows Capital, which started like last year. It says the hedge fund, which was founded last year and manages an estimated $10 billion, has positions in many crypto largest projects such as Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, X, Infinity, and BlockFi. and they might even have exposure to Celsius with the synthetic ETH. And so as of right now, there's been a lot of funds leaving out. The owners, they've been tweeting as much. And, this is one of the, I guess, the benefits of having a publicly verifiable blockchain, because we have people who are able to actually see the flow of funds in and out of certain wallets, which allow people to do forensic analysis type reporting to say, hey, there's been, there was something about $200 million leaving from your address. Where's it going? It's like, so do people really enjoy having that level of transparency with their own personal finances, to where, if someone's come across your address and they see your activity, is that appealing to you? All in the name of, trying to get back to sound practices of undisruptible, permissionless, and all that crap like that. But it's like, if they can see everything you do on the ledger, and you now have to be more cautious, and you have to, especially if it's verified as yours, then you're going to be held accountable for that. So it's like, it's I don't know. It's just like, I see the idea, but I don't want my business out there. You know what I'm saying? Not just me, but obviously people don't mind. And so think about that. I just transparency is supposed to be something that we demand of our government, not necessarily this fall for the booby trap and allowing the sector to make it okay now for everybody. Now, if you want to be involved with this space, you have to, sacrifice that one area on top of all the other issues I can bring up. But anyway, let's talk. So let me open the phone lines up, and let's get some communication going back and forth, man. Let's get some dialogue back and forth. What's on your radar? There's lots of subjects we can touch on, but I'll spare you guys my rants, and let's get to it. So as always, give me a call. Phone lines are open. We'd love to hear from everybody directly, and let me know your thoughts. Let me close out some windows. Hello, Carlos. Where we calling from?
Hey, Mike, it's low blood pressure, Corpus Christi. How's it going?
LBP, doing good, man. What's up with you?
Hey, look, man, I was reading my Torah today, man, and I got something we could talk about.
Give it to me.
The King James Version. Okay, look up Genesis 13:2.
Okay. You can go ahead for time's sake. Go ahead and start it off if you don't mind.
But I don't have it in front of me. That's why, Mike.
All right, give me the subject matter, just so we can, I don't want to. 13:2. Go ahead. 13:2. Okay, Abraham. Abram had to come. Yeah.
Okay, he was rich with cattle, silver, and gold.
Correct.
Look at the order, Mike. Look the order. It's cattle, which is like storable food, because that's what cattle was.
Yeah.
Silver and gold, Mike. It's telling us what wealth is.
100%, man. Did you ever see that video with Kevin Massengill? It's like a little 2-minute segment that I put up from interview years ago. We talks about the 3 categories of wealth, and the first one is tertiary, which is what God gave us from the earth. He mentioned cattle on the hill, livestock, gold, silver, whatever, things that are directly related to the earth is the primary source of wealth. And then the second one is what man does with it. When taking rubber, turning into some shoes, a building. So yeah, it's a great explanation. But I get your point, man. I see 100% what you're talking about.
There you go. One more, Mike, if you can, please.
Yeah.
Genesis 41:42.
Low blood pressure, bit in that word, huh? You say
I'm telling you.
41:42, you say?
Yeah, look at that one, please.
Okay, let me put it up right now. 41:42. Put it on the screen here. It says 41 says the Pharaoh took his signet ring from his finger and put it on Joseph's finger. He dressed him in robes of fine linen and put a gold chain around his neck.
Barlight broker, that's for you, Barlight broker. Read it.
Yeah, man, good find, man.
All right,
appreciate you, man.
Thank you for taking my call. Have a good night.
Be good. Oh, that's good stuff, man. LBP in his word, man. That's good stuff. Okay, let's talk, man. I'll say something about the crypto pump. Let's talk about the crypto pump. So as of right now, it looks like, let me see. Let me click on my screen. I just clicked on it a minute ago. Everything was green. Now I see some red. So yeah, so basically with all this green out here, we got, let me get this right. So let me see. I'm thinking I'm looking at how the markets ended today. And according to the way the markets ended, we predominantly green in all the equities, minus the energy sector was a little rough. And then on the crypto side, we got red right now, but it could be pump fake. So they got a lot of green in the crypto space. So it looks like recession might be off. We all good now. They raising interest rates. Don't worry about it. Everybody go home now. We good. Recession averted. We're all good. Yeah. Oh, okay. Hello, caller. Where you calling from? 1 sec. Give me 1 sec. I got to put you on speaker. Let me see. Give me 1 second. All right, I got you. Who is this again?
Hey, Mike, it's Pete in Wyoming.
Pete, what's going on, my friend?
Oh, everything, all at the same time.
Yeah, man. Good to hear from you. What's been going on with you, my friend?
Well, once again, everything all at the same time. It's hysteria, my friend. We've come to the end. How does it feel?
No different than it did yesterday, but everything's subject to change day by day.
But don't worry. Jerome Powell said that the consumer is strong and we can handle the rate hikes.
Yeah, until it's gone. Yeah. Yeah, man. Like at this point, to me, like everybody who really knows what's going on have already dismissed anything the Federal Reserve is doing just because they can't. It's nothing they can really do anyway. They're literally reacting to the narrative, to the reality, and trying to paint a picture as if like it's manageable. But yeah, the world has already moved on, man.
I'll point out, I got a buddy who's a real top broker in Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
He lost $120,000 in commissions in the last week.
He lost.
Yeah, well, they all canceled on him.
Wow.
It's all my boots on the ground said that it's hysteria, my friend. We're at the end.
Okay, man. We've been anticipating that, time frame, and if it's here, it's here, and now it's time to, I guess, when it officially hits, it becomes obvious because the gas prices, I think, is a good signal for a lot of people, and on top of the hysteria they're trying to build up around that and all the other things, but by the time it really becomes obvious, that's when the lights might go off or the internet might go down or something like that, because it's gonna be 300 something million pissed people out here trying to find what they think is theirs or they may not be able to get a hold of, and it's gonna get ugly if it's like that.
Well, put yourself in Jerome's shoes. You got two choices right now.
Yeah.
You can go back to printing,
Mm-hmm.
and the torches and pitchforks comes out.
Yeah.
And or you can, crush inflation and everything implodes because everything floats on a sea of debt. What are you going to do if you're Jerome? What would you do in his shoes?
As of right now, I'm going to keep pretending that everything is going to get better by tightening, because I don't think they're going to reverse course. I think literally something's going to give before they're able to reverse course. And I think the typical response is we got to provide accommodative policies. I don't think they're going to do that this year. I mean, it's time, because this just be the third time within a decade. Plus, I think the goal is to reset things. So they're going to let things crumble, and then we're going to have some type of event to distract people or or they're going to use that event to point it towards the blame. And then it'll give them the ammunition they need to come out with the CBDC. And I think they would rather have that issue rather than go back to adding, buying up government debt. They're going to do it I think you're going to rebrand a whole new structure, I think. But based upon debt, though, of course, or in its software currency.
Well, they're going to try.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. I mean, like if you were in Rome in 408 AD before Alaric marched on the gates, would it be better to be in the countryside? Was the emperor really in charge?
Right.
Could they hold it together?
Good point. Because it's good to say, but well before then, all those people turned on them. So,
no, actually, like a great other point, like something you were leading up with one of your articles earlier, is just that. Let's just say we were in Ukraine, 1933, and we were kulak farmers, and the Red Guard came to our establishment and to steal our seed crop, and I could turn to you and I could say, you know what? I don't think this communism stuff's going to work out. I think that they're kind of crazy. I think they're stealing our seed crop and shooting us is going to kill millions of people.
Yeah.
And this whole crazy thing is not going to work.
Right.
I would have been right, but I wouldn't have been right for like another 70 years longer than I would have lived.
Yeah.
And also to point out, like Alexander Solzhenitsyn and the Gulag Archipelago, where they were all in the gulags later, and they were all talking with each other. Like, if only we had grabbed the fire iron and attacked the guards when they came to take us away. You know, none of this is done right now.
Right.
Nothing has happened. And I like where you've been going lately and going back to scripture and talking about values and morals.
Yeah.
In the sense that, you know, we, you know, like our values, our morals, our principles, how real are they? What will we stand up for?
Right. Right. And right now,
what will you do when they come to the door?
I mean, it's either you fight or you lay down. That's the only two options. Fight or flight, either one. So at that moment, and that's where it's good to talk bad on air and say, yeah, I'm gonna fight. But yeah, everybody at that defining moment will find out what they're made of, and that's where your faith, I think, will help confirm and reassure some things, because everybody's bad until you got to swing or, you know, pull a trigger or two. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I'll keep it at that.
Well, no, but maybe we'll all have to make that decision.
Yeah.
But all I can tell you is that I feel that we've conflated, you know, education with accreditation. We've conflated with success with material possessions. We've ceded so many moral values.
Right.
You know, what are you made of?
Right.
What am I made of? What will we do when it matters?
Right. And that's the thing. Like, that defining moment is in our future. Everybody will have a chance. And I'm saying that's where the spiritual essence of things has become more important than ever, because we could talk about all the things happening around us, but yet, you know, it's literally out of the contents of your heart. You know what I'm saying? Your actions will show and your mouth will speak. So, you know, if you don't put in nothing solid and morally established, you depend upon your education and whatever, you probably gonna do the complete opposite of what you would think you would do. So, but yeah, what were we made of, man? I'm gonna leave it at that. But Pete, man, I appreciate your call, my friend.
Keep doing what you're doing, Mike.
Will do, boss. Be good.
You too. Bye.
Yeah, that's good stuff, man. I mean, that's good stuff. Like, you know, that it boils down to, you know, what are you made of? Like, and that's where, you know, with, you know, and you know, I ain't prophetic in nature, but that's why, well before all this stuff jumped off, I said, this decade, in my opinion, will be a defining moment for 7.9 billion people, because the powers that be will not just lay down and give up. And so if there's 7.9 billion people on this planet, we're all up against the same thing. We got the same government structure and all the private entities working together to execute an agenda. Now, as more people wake up, that gives us time to continue to, you know, non-compliance is key. But then again, some people, out of just sheer ignorance / unawareness, as well as stubbornness, might say, hey, you know, hey, I ain't got nothing to lose. I'm gonna just go ahead and do what I'm told. Right. And those are the people right now that, you know, after 2 years now of having witnessed all this health stuff, and the fact now they're trying to, you know, put stuff in babies now, you know what I'm saying, as a parent, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? That's where it becomes, you know what I'm saying, it gets to another level, because they mess with kids now like that. So, yeah. But, yeah. Hey, man. Hello, Carlos. Where you calling from?
Yeah, Mike, Steve in Region 9.
Steve, what's going on, my man?
Hey, Mike, not only do we have port contracts coming up at the end of the month, I'm just finding out that there's railroad contracts coming up also.
Yeah. Let me see. I see that article you sent me, and I did see something like that the other day. Forgot to mention it, but so yeah, man. Like it's so between the buildings burning down, food plants being closed, you know, ports not working, trains stopping. It's like how obvious can it be as to what they're literally shutting off everything for, you know, and that's it's happening now. But the side effects won't be for another year or two. You know what I'm saying? When stuff still ain't ironed out and stuff is not delivered to shelves, and it's just yeah. Anyway,
exactly. And who has the authority to do that?
That's a good point.
We know that this. We know that this is who has the authority to do that, to shut everything down like that.
Right. And that goes to me. That's the collaboration of public and private companies working hand in hand. So this railroad company, whoever the head company, whoever the Brotherhood of Locomotive Engineers, whoever the boss man is, it's definitely a publicly traded company. So we got BNSF Railway, CSX, Kansas City Southern, Northern Union Pacific. So all 5 of these companies right here, their CEOs and board members are all, good to say, collaborating and partners with the World Economic Forum, so that they can do this in a joint effort. So it's not by coincidence that these 5 companies might be having issues with the union trying to negotiate at a time where you would think they would want to make money, and the only way you make money is to keep the tracks moving. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, okay, I'll leave it alone.
Exactly. So let that sink in.
Yeah.
Basically, the ports are possibly going to be shut down
Mm-hmm.
at the end of June in Southern California, which basically is the number one access route in the U.S.
Yeah.
And then the train unions,
Right.
being shut down or whatever on top of that, along with, like you said, the plants, everything being burned up, locked down, planes dropping into buildings.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, people. and people are worried about the Bitcoin.
Yeah.
They're more worried about the Bitcoin, the air.
Right.
Air. It's like they played with Allen Iverson. Practice. You can just replace that with air.
Yeah.
Talking about air.
I gotta chop that video up, man, and put it out there. But anyway, hey, man.
We're talking about air. Anyway,
Appreciate you, man.
but that's about it for me today.
All right, man.
If people wake up and ladies,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how this is coming down, but they're going to do it. If it's out there, they're going to do it. Go get those feminine products that you need.
Yeah.
And stock up on them. It's coming.
Yeah.
So, along
That's
with
true.
everything else that you need too. But,
Good point, man. Hey, man, appreciate you calling, my man.
all right. Take care.
Be good. Hello, caller. Where you calling from?
Hi, Mike. This is Mike in Philadelphia.
Mike in Philly. What's going on with you, my friend?
Just a brief note. As you were discussing everything getting shut down and everything slowing down, just on the psychological conditioning component, is that by happen chance, you know how illness morphs and mutates and comes about through animals, etc. We've been conditioned to precisely this only a few years ago. It seems like just yesterday, but we're used to things being shut down suddenly beyond our control, and once again, we're all in this together. So it's a good thing we're used to this by pure coincidence.
Yeah.
So.
Hey, man. Appreciate you, my man. Thank you for calling.
All right. Never forget.
Oh, yeah. Be good. Good stuff. Good points there. And also, just as Steve was talking, the thought that came to mind was about, trying to get ahead of the madness, because we had an example of that March 2020 when everybody rushed to get toilet paper. And of course, the people who were aware ahead of time was able to have some on deck. And at this current moment, knowing that the just-in-time supply chain system has already ceased, and literally it's probably the things that are available now are probably just a little bit of inventory that was remaining from however long ago, which means that this port situation, the railroad situation is, think about like next year summertime, next year June, we will probably be in an entirely different world in reference to the way society is functioning politically, because this whole November midterm crap, Republican, Democrat, it's irrelevant because they're working together. They're all on the same team. They all know the dollar's toast, and they got to get ready to, prepare their own jobs so that they can try to stay in power, next year and beyond. And of course, you're still gonna have a certain presidential candidate out there talk about some wait to 2024 when I come back, we're gonna make it a great. Yeah, okay, yeah. But anyway, my point was, as far as the products, whatever you need, of course, trying to have a reserve, a savings account in your toiletries or whatever. Shout out to Steve, for blessing your boy, and all the other things that you can grab now. But then again, that has a limitation because nobody here has, a warehouse or a bunker on an island that's how many ever 100 feet deep where you can store 10 years worth of goods. Of course, there might be one or two out there, but, reach out to me if you can. But anyway, but so it's like, it's only so much you can do. So that's where I was like, prepare with the expectation of things working out. But then again, live today as like, today is the greatest day you've ever been granted because it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. We are projecting something's going to break. The economy's going to crash. We don't know. But like, God is able to intervene in anything. And just through the sheer power of prayer, like if everybody, like, that's the thing. Like, I understand that biblically speaking, things have to take their course. And so I want to make sure whatever I do is within the will, God's will, because I read the book. So that lets me know that that's his ultimate will for humanity. And that's fine with me. And I have a part to play in all that. But a part of me still is like, Lord, like, let's do something. Let's turn this around. Let's, and that's where, is that selfish on my part? Because I'm saying that from the human side of me, because I want to live comfortable. I want to live long. I want to see my grandkids. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it was possible. But then again, I might not be the Lord's will for me. You know what I'm saying? Because if I take on this fight, which I have to take it on because I can't sit back and not be quiet, eventually that's going to attract persecution. And so every believer in Christ, especially if you're trying to be proactive in being a part of this movement of expressing and sharing the kingdom of God, we're told we're going to get persecuted. You know what I'm saying? They're going to do stuff to us in the name of Jesus as if they're helping him out, but in actuality, they're helping out their father. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's interesting, but I got the self side and I got the spiritual side. You know what I'm saying? I go back and forth. I war at times, you know what I'm saying? But ultimately, I try to remind myself of the eternal prize that lays before me. And that kind of helps me settle down a little bit because I'm like, Lord, this is all for your glory. I don't know where I was going, but I just want to share that because to me, that's real talk. That's the good news that I enjoy sharing. Anyway, so let me check the comments real quick. Feel free to throw out some thoughts, ideas, suggestions, or give me a call. I have missed a couple calls. Forgive me. I get on a rant and, I don't want to lose my train of thought, so I keep moving more than I should. But anyway, Bunker says, why is Obama... yeah, so how come Hawaii has turned into the hot spot? Like, you put yourself on an island. Like, I was talking to somebody earlier, and she was saying how Mark Zuckerberg has like 1,000-acre complex in Hawaii, and every single person, because she was having dinner like at the bottom of the hill, and it's up in the hill, and she was saying that everybody in that area know that Zuckerberg basically owns that area in a sense, and whoever does business with him has to sign a what's those contracts, the non-disclosure contracts. I forgot whatever the name of it is. So like anybody who steps ground on his complex, they got to sign, one of those little agreement thingies. And so she was like, everybody, like, so the chick that she was talking to, she said she could just say that much. She couldn't talk about the details of his property or nothing like that. And so here is that Mark Zuckerberg adds a reservoir to his massive Hawaiian estate. So, of course, you won't see pictures, I don't think. Or maybe you do. What is this? This is not a picture, but this is a reservoir. So, yeah, so they didn't got no real footage. But apparently, it says, I have purchased 110 acres of a former sugar plantation And so it says, with tragically dumped 400. So, Mark Zuckerberg. So you got the Obamas out there, the Zuckerbergs out there. It's good to say Jeff got one out there. Elon got one out there. You know what I'm saying? These cats, when stuff hits the fan, they want to have the least amount of people as possible around them. And I'm sure they got a whole little militia protecting their property as well. Hello, Carlos. Where you calling from?
Sure. Hey, what's up, man? It's Joshua Martin again, man, calling from New York. I just want to say, man, people need to realize, man, these celebrities, Mark Zuckerberg or whatever his name is, man, they not here for us, man. They took an oath, you know what I mean? They on their side, we on our side, man. And this goes back to what I was saying before, man, with the bloodlines. You understand? In the social credit system, it's all about a bigger picture, man. They want to move us to the metaverse. You know what I mean? They want to, my thing is I checked out this other, content creator on YouTube, Truth Unedited. I know you, speak your faith about, the gospel, whatever. And my thing is that they are going to put our livelihoods behind a paywall, behind the vaccine, behind a mark, behind whatever it is that they're going to put.
Right.
And my thing is, if we don't stand up for our freedom now, which we haven't been as a people, because the restrictions are still here,
right,
then we're not going to stand up for our freedom the next time, man. And it's just like taking candy from the baby.
Right.
People all seem to group think. You know what I mean? They think together, and you got to look at China's system. China's social credit system.
Yeah.
They have the face IDs. We in America, people get arrested. They have their fingerprints. They have their iris scans, but it's really all about linking everyone together, the contact tracing.
Right.
And, really just putting people into a database which they can track individuals, especially like individuals like yourself that speak out against, the authority or the ruling government.
Right.
Because really that's what government is. It's people that, have power, they have authority, they have control, and that's what they want more of, power and control. And people got to realize that that's not always in our best interest.
Right. Hey, I agree, man. You speaking truth on that one, my man. Appreciate you for calling and sharing that, boss, man.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Be good. Thank you.
You as well.
Good stuff, man. Good stuff. And so as he was speaking, I realized that I shared something. And so let me just to where things are heading. I didn't get a chance to talk about it, but I heard an article about Bill Gates commenting on not liking NFTs or something like that. And so my first thought when I saw that was, it doesn't surprise me one bit, because he has plans for something a lot greater than NFTs. And so ultimately an NFT or non-fungible token, in the form of the way they've been introduced now, are child's play in reference to what he envisions for NFTs. And so let me share with you real quick. So here's that article that came out, I guess, today from, I'm not sure from what, but Bill Gates thinks NFT investors are the greatest fools of all times. The former Microsoft Google ambassador, Bored Apes, and the entire basis of cryptocurrency as at a conference. So he's bashing cryptocurrency and call NFT investors a fool. Okay. And of course, to me, it's one of the first versions of a lot of, it's child's play right now compared to what it's going to be. And he has already determined what he envisions for cryptocurrency with the patent that he has. So he's bashing cryptography in reference to the way it is now, software coding as they are now. But let me share with you something I replied to somebody out there. So on the screen here is a patent by Microsoft. So this is the international application published for a patent cooperation treaty. It says the World Intellectual Property Organization, March 26th, 2020. So at the same time, this is like the next week, I think, or the same week the world shut down. Microsoft filed a patent that is basically is good for the entire world. So here's all the details of it. It's in all these states. And these are all these states referring, I'm assuming, to countries here. Or no, it could just be states, or no, because RW, so I'm not sure. So I'm thinking this is like world patent. So anyway, but just to let you know what it's about, it's cryptocurrency system. And as you guys see right here at the bottom, it says the title of it is cryptocurrency system using body activity data. So Microsoft Technology Licensing in Redmont, Washington has a patent for cryptocurrency system using the body activity as data. So I can see how Bill Gates could say NFTs are child's play and cryptocurrencies is stupid, because to him, the ultimate vision for what he has is turning your physical body into a NFT, leveraging your body motion, your kinetic energy to mine profit for his entity. So how will that come about? How will the cryptocurrency data system, this is part of the body, work? So I'd imagine between now and the time that's fully operational, if it gets to that point, because he's funding a lot of things to make sure that comes to pass. What do you think is going to happen with the current structure of cryptocurrencies we have now? Like, what do you think was going to happen with Bitcoin? You think Bitcoin and Ethereum and Litecoin and all these coins are still going to be, usable in the same way that he plans on using that technology to incorporate it inside the human body? So that to me is more of how it is as this stuff evolves. Blockchain itself is going to be used for purposes like this. Like, this is just his patent. So it's good to say he got permission to do this, and it's going to be a product, or they're going to put it in your body somehow, some way. But he has a patent. So Microsoft has a patent to use cryptocurrency function inside the body. So you guys can look this up if you want. It's WO2020060606. You see that patent right there. So take of it what you may, but blockchain was never intended to free humanity. Blockchain was meant, in my opinion, according to this patent here, which lets me know that the technology is already done. That's why they got it patented. So they're now working on how they're going to get it into the body. And to me, it's quite obvious how they can get it into the body. And so making your body an NFT is the end goal, in my opinion. But who am I? I'm just a YouTuber. Anyway, that being the case, people, approaching our hour point. Hope this was of value to you. If it has been, definitely hit that thumbs up button and show your boy some love. It's always appreciative to be loved by the community. So just give your boy some dap or a little hug. Hit that button for me. And what I want to encourage everybody to do, go down beneath this video here to the social media part and join RTD on all the platforms, including Telegram and Discord, if you're on there, just so you can interact with yourselves after the show. Because after every episode, we all head over usually to Telegram or to Discord, and we keep the party going over there. Share articles, share videos, share whatever you like. Just no spamming, because you're gonna be deleted. You know what I'm saying? Just keep it 100. And once again, hit that subscribe button and come back and show your boy some love later on. But let me end, for those that didn't get a chance to get that good word that I shared earlier. Let me end sharing with you just the word of the day, which is the ultimate form of good news. It happens to fall within the good book itself, just as some motivation, encouragement, as well as something to feed your soul, because man can't live off bread alone, but you can live now and eternally off that good word. So let me finish up with this little word here for all my people, my believers. Never heard to get a little extra word in you for the day. So this is in Matthew 13:11, in reference to, this is what I call the parable section, where Jesus describes what the kingdom of heaven is like. And he gives, I think, 3 or 4 examples after this statement. But then he's telling us because he gave a story, a parable to the followers around him. They didn't understand it. So the disciples asked him, what is all this about? And then this is a response. He replied, because the knowledge of the secrets of the kingdom of heaven has been given to you. So he's referring to those that were closest to him, the disciples at that moment. The secrets has been given to you, but unto them, those people who I was talking to in parables, they won't discern it. And so think about this. If you're inside Jesus's inside circle as a disciple, as a follower, if you've been born again and his spirit resides in you, then this knowledge that he's referring to here, which is encoded within secrets, is available to you. So right now, despite what's going on around us, this is what I believe for myself. And I said, this is my statement. I said, insider information. So you know how like, Wall Street and the banks, they all got inside information. They know what's coming. They got the hookup because they got somebody on the inside. Because the Holy Spirit is inside of us, we have knowledge of the secrets available to us. And so the parables, when you read them over and over and over and over again, this Holy Spirit, I can't speak for everybody, I can speak for myself. The Holy Spirit will take the same parable and give it to me in so many different ways where I'm like, like my eyes light up, like, wow, you know what I'm saying? I didn't see it like that before. You know what I'm saying? That's that revelation that comes within these secrets that's available for those that want them. If you want it, it's yours. Go get it. And so my last little bit here says, this is my little quote or thought. It says, insider information is available for those who seek the kingdom. I said, for the Lord gives wisdom, and from his mouth come knowledge and understanding. Let's rise and grind for the king. So that's my morning word. So I've been enjoying, because I have to hold myself accountable to get into the word, to get something, to then share, and then to add my little 2 cents on top of it. That's my contribution for the kingdom every single day. And so my whole goal is to encourage you also to get in your word, feed your spirit, check in with the Holy Spirit, get something from it so that you can share it, live it first, and then share it. And then you'll be actively working. You're working like, you're on the clock. You know what I'm saying? When you're engaging the spirit realm, and then you're willing to share with other people. You know what I'm saying? If you can talk to one person a day, one person a week, you know what I'm saying? You're doing more work for the kingdom than a lot of other people. You do a lot more work for the kingdom than a lot of people in pole pits be doing these days. You know what I'm saying? Because we're told to talk about the kingdom, not all this other stuff. And from that, secrets will be revealed to you. But I'm going to start ranting. But anyway, people, once again, I hope that word was of encouragement to you guys. If it was, definitely hit that thumbs up button, show your support. And also, let's crank it up a little bit. Find a way, find somebody to pray for. Let's find a way to further advance this good news, man, because the world needs it. Because if not, you know what you're going to be bombarded with, nothing but bad. And that gets old, gets tired. So I'm like, I get tired of talking about, stuff that, it's important, but I really don't care. Like, I'm thinking about human souls. You know what I'm saying? I want to expand the kingdom. That's just my thought. But anyway, let's end on a little bit of prayer. So I got about 200 or so people, give or take. Some people dropped off. But if you're still here, you obviously, it's resonating with you. And I appreciate you for your time. So let's end on a good note. Let's all get in unison in prayer. The power of prayer, as I was mentioning earlier, is available. And let's ask the Lord for to reveal to us these secrets so that we can be more effective for him. Like the secrets is so that we can become everything he created us to become for his own glory. And in that, we get a chance to, reap the benefits as well. Provision, daily provision. And so having your daily bread met makes it so that, as you prepare, set aside a little something, it should bring a little bit more peace, because even when stuff hits the fan, you still covered. Because, you have something called kingdom care. Kingdom care is like, it's like the commonwealth concept of the old monarchies, where whatever the king owns or queen owns, the land and everything in it belongs to them. And they are responsible for you because you're their property in a sense. So food is provided, what health is provided, whatever you need is provided, because it don't belong to you, it belongs to the king. And having that mindset now definitely will come in handy, because you can do all the prepping you want, but at the end of the day, you don't own nothing. And if you don't acknowledge the real source of it, you stand to lose it all because you think that you can do it by yourself, and you can't. Anyway, let's close off a little bit of prayer, and let's just lift up props and give honor and glory to the King. Heavenly Father, we thank you for the opportunity to gather this evening. We thank you for your goodness, your mercy, and your grace. We thank you for the word, Father. We pray that this word touches the hearts of everybody tuned in, Father, and that you allow them to seek your governance first. Allow them to seek your kingdom first, and give us all, Father, greater knowledge of these secrets that you have stored up for us, Father. Allow us to be activated in our spirit, man. Allow us to be encouraged to share our faith with others, so that your kingdom is advanced, as well as others are brought into the fold, Father, and that your will may be done on earth as it is in heaven. Lord, we just thank you for, man, just these good times, man. Despite all the craziness, your kingdom is alive. Our provision is provided for. Health is ours, man. I'm grateful for all you have done and will do. Bless every single person tuned in, Father. Give them those secrets. Help them be activated and charged up in the morning to go out and make it happen. Let them rise and grind for you. In the name of Jesus Christ the King. Amen. All right, people. tomorrow at 12 noon, I'm interviewing Jose from Venezuela. He's going to give us an update, and things are looking better in Venezuela, but we're not hearing about that here in the U.S. And then also Mike and Mario at 2 p.m. tomorrow. So I'm going to be humping tomorrow. So definitely noon and 2, come back and hang out with us. And most important thing is helping the community grow. Invite a friend. Share these videos if you don't mind, so people can find out what's going on. Or take the articles out at least and then share them so people can find out what's going on. Because, once by you guys knowing, you guys got some secrets now, help put it out there so people can prepare, embrace, and do what they got to do. But anyway, I'm not ranting no more. Hopefully my microphone was on. Anyway, see y'all later. Peace.